So as you're seated, let's take a moment to maybe rock a little bit forward and backward. Maybe rocking a little bit forward and backward. And as you rock, you might notice the range of motion. You might notice the range of motion of your back. And in particular, I notice for me, when I rock forward, when I come forward, I notice my legs. I notice some sensations in my legs. I can start to feel something in my legs here as I lean forward, especially with my back upright. So my back is staying relatively tall as I lean forward. And right about here, I notice my legs. I start to notice some sensation in my legs. And it really kind of prevents me from going much further than this. So I just say that to invite you to check it out for you. If you notice something in your legs as you move forward like so, and see if you notice any sensation there. All right, so just kind of rocking a little bit forward and backward. And then when you're ready to go side to side, we can try side to side. The same idea here, you might notice sensation in your legs. Feel free to continue with that motion. And then a third way to move, if you'd like, is to make some circles. So instead of going forward and backward or side to side, or just kind of circling. And here too, you might notice some sensations in your legs as you circle around. So you can feel free to explore the range of motion in your legs as you circle around. Feel free to change the direction of your circle. So if you want to go the other way, you're welcome to try that out. It's your choice. If you want to change directions, you're welcome to do that. And then from here, if you'd like, maybe stretching your legs out. So we can stretch our legs out a little bit. And I'm just kind of rubbing the sides of my legs a little bit. So you're welcome to do that. You could kind of, if you want, like press the palms of your hands into the tops of your legs. Just kind of pushing or pressing on the muscles towards the top, this kind of the side of your legs. You're welcome to try that out. See, you might notice some sensation there in your legs as you do that. And then maybe even continuing forward, bringing your hands towards your feet, if you like. So maybe bringing your hands towards your feet. You might also notice some sensation in the back, the underside of your legs as you draw your hands forward. Maybe even in your back. Right? Maybe even in your back. You might notice some sensation in the back of your legs, maybe in your back, between your shoulders, between your shoulder blades. And then we could try, if you'd like, if you're interested in making our way to our hands and knees. Kind of making our way to our hands and knees. And there's a couple ways to have your hands here. One way is to ball up your hands into kind of like fists. Another way is to make your palms flat. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of lowering my back down the center of my back. You might notice my spine kind of lowering down, right? Just kind of, and lifting my tailbone up and my chin up. Just kind of, and breathing here a few breaths. So you're welcome to try this out if you like. Just kind of lowering your core down, but lifting your chin up. Right? So front view kind of looks like this. And just taking a few breaths here. See if you notice any sensations here in your back. And then the other way to move, if you're interested, is to begin to lift your back up. Maybe drawing your tailbone down or your chin in towards your sternum. Just kind of breathing here. Maybe rounding your shoulders. And just taking a few breaths here. You might notice some changes in sensation in your back as you do this movement. And then when you're ready, feel free to come back to center. And then as we're on all fours, you're welcome to try maybe sitting back onto your heels. And so I got my knees a little bit wide here, so you could widen your knees if you want to, or you could have your knees together. Either way is fine. I'm just having my knees apart here. And then just kind of coming down onto my elbows. You have a choice. You could stack your hands and just rest your forehead on your hands. Or if you prefer, you could perhaps bring your head down to the floor and just rest on the floor. As you're in this form, you might notice sensation where your arms are making contact with the mat. You might notice some sensations where your arms are making contact with the mat. You might notice the contact your legs are making with your ribs. Where your legs meet your ribs, there might be a sensation there that you feel or notice. And then from here, feel free to come back up to all fours. And maybe, if you'd like, we could lie down on our backside. So feel free, if you'd like to try this lying down. You could do this in a chair as well. So if you want to change to a chair, you're welcome to do it in a chair. And once you find a restful place on your back, maybe just noticing the contact your backside is making with the floor. You might notice where your legs are touching the ground. If you like, you could kind of wiggle your legs a little bit, just to feel any sensation in your legs. And you might feel your back. If you like, you could interlace your hands and just rock your body a little bit left and right, just to feel the contact your backside is making with the mat. Just rocking a little bit left and right. Another option here, if you'd like, is to roll your arms left and right. Just to feel the places where your arms are making contact. You're welcome to stay here for the whole class if you want. You could stay here for the whole the remainder of the class, just being on your back. I encourage you to listen to your own physical body and your own needs. So if you need to use this time to rest, that's totally fine. Your body is your best teacher. I'm just a facilitator. And the point of trauma-sensitive yoga is to encourage you to make your own choices that are not based on something that I say, but are genuine to your own needs and how your body is actually feeling. In that way, we cultivate what's called agency, our ability to have some degree of being able to have a sense of control over our environment. Maybe some ability to feel like we can have some power over our environment in the context of a yoga class. All right, so you could use this time to rest as much as you want. All right, from here, if you're interested, maybe reaching your arms up over your head. And you can reach your arms up over your head if you'd like, just lengthening your body. Maybe taking a few breaths here as your arms lengthen up over your head. Maybe even pointing your toes. And see, how would it feel for you to take a little bit more breath in as you breathe in? Maybe noticing your breathing, maybe noticing the flow of your breath as you breathe. And then as you're ready, just kind of returning your arms back to your sides in your own time, at your own pace, in your own way, bringing your arms back to your sides. And just as your arms come back to your side, just maybe take a few moments to again notice the contact your body's making with the ground or with your chair if you choose to do this in a chair. Just noticing any places your body's making contact with the ground. Feel free to rest here for as long as you want. It's really your choice how long to stay here. And then if you'd like, feel free to lift again. Kind of lifting your arms up over your heads, just lengthening your body. And maybe taking a few breaths here. As you breathe in, you might notice your ribs expanding. As you breathe out, you might notice your ribs contracting. You might also notice sensations in your shoulders, or maybe even in your core. And then when you're ready, feel free to lower your arms again back to your sides. And as you bring your arms back to your sides, you might notice you might track any changes in your arms. And just again, resting here for a few breaths. And this next one, if you're interested in trying this next one, we could start by placing our hands on our core. Just kind of resting your hands on your core. And you might notice as your hands are on your core, you might notice the sensation
of your palms there on the center of your body. You might notice some sensation there in the center of your body. And then feel free to, this time, reach your arms out to the sides. So kind of making like a shape of a figure T with your body. Reach your arms out to the sides. And maybe breathe here for a few breaths. And you might notice this, you might notice some sensation here in your arms as they're reached out to your side. And then as you're ready to begin, bringing your arms back up towards the ceiling and then bending your elbows perhaps and lowering them down, lowering your hands down to your core and resting here. So again, we're just kind of reaching our arms out to our side, resting, maybe noticing some sensation in our arms as our arms are lengthening away from our center, and then coming back to your center. Okay, this next one, I invite you to do this in sync with your breath if you'd like to. So starting out with our hands at our side, as you breathe in, reaching your arms out over your head. And as you breathe out, bringing your arms back to your side. So this is a little bit more movement involved. You're welcome to try this if you'd like. Breathing in, reaching up over your head. And breathing out, lowering arms back to your side. And doing that maybe 5 or 6 times. Just noticing how this feels for you. If you want to go at a different pace from me, you're welcome to. You can do this at a different pace if you'd like. Just doing number 3. Breathing out. Number 4. Breathing in. And breathing out. And number 5. Breathing in as I lift up. And breathing out as I lower my arms down. And then resting for a few moments. See if you notice how your body feels here. And however you feel at this moment in your body is totally okay. You don't have to try to change a thing. However you feel right now at this moment is totally okay. We're just simply witnessing or noticing any sensation in our body as we're resting. Okay, if you'd like, we could start out again with our hands at our core and doing the same kind of movement, breathing in, reaching our arms out to our side this time, and breathing out, bringing our hands back to our center. Breathing in, and breathing out. Maybe for 5 more times. Breathing in, 1, and breathing out. Breathing in, 2. Breathing out. And breathing in for 3. And breathing out. Breathing in for 4. And breathing out. And last one, breathing in for 5. And breathing out. Okay. Feel free to rest here longer, or if you want to roll to one side of your body, you're welcome to do that. If you're lying on the floor, you can roll to one side. Maybe rest here for a few moments. You might notice that any shifts in your body as you're on your side. And then using your arms and elbows, your legs to help press you back up into a seated posture. Maybe coming to a seat. And I like to extend this to this breathing movement we've been doing. Explore, if you're not familiar with doing this, explore breathing through your nose, right, versus breathing through your mouth. So sometimes people might not know this, but they might breathe unconsciously through their mouth, right? Or they might breathe unconsciously through their nose. So in this movement, you're welcome to explore whether you breathe through your nose or breathe through your mouth. You can do either one. Either one is fine. You're just checking it out. Which one do you generally breathe through? Okay? So for this breathing movement, as you breathe in, you're welcome to lift your arms up. And as you breathe out, to lower your arms down. And I invite you to notice where you tend to breathe in and out of. Is it your nose or is it your mouth? Right? Which one do you breathe in and out of? You can do either one. And we'll do this maybe for about 10 seconds. Just lifting our arms up and lowering our arms down. Going at your own pace. So you can follow your own breath here. Your breath can kind of guide you in this movement. So as you begin to initiate breathing in, kind of lifting your arms up. As you initiate breathing out, lowering your arms down. Okay, and then after about 10 seconds, just resting your arms here. Now the next movement, I'm going to invite you to breathe through your nose. Just breathe through your nose. If you're not used to doing that, you might notice some shifts or changes in how that feels, but it's an invitation. If you'd like to try this, breathing in and out through your nose as you lift and lower your arms. So breathing in through your nose as you lift your arms, and breathing out through your nose as you lower your arms. Just notice any shifts, any internal shifts for you. Any changes or shifts in how you feel, breathing in and out through your nose. Maybe for about 3 more seconds. 2, 1, and rest. Okay, and then this next one, I'll invite you to breathe in and out through your mouth. All right, so if you'd like to try this, just to see, just a kind of exploration of the difference between breathing in through your nose versus breathing in through your mouth. And sometimes if we have a stuffy nose, it might be impossible to breathe in and out through our nose. Sometimes that might be impossible. But let's try just breathing in through our mouth and breathing out through our mouth this next one, okay? Ready? Okay, breathing in and out. And in, we'll just do this maybe 10 seconds. And see as you're breathing in and out through your mouth, if you notice any changes there, if it feels any different.
Okay, and when you're ready, feel free to rest your arms a few seconds. Okay, one more exploration with our breathing here. And this is breathing in through our nose and breathing out through our mouth. So if you want to try that out. So we're breathing in through our nose. And when you breathe out, feel free to try breathing out through your mouth. Okay, it's just an exploration to see how it feels for you. Okay, same movement with our arms. Breathing in through your nose as you breathe in. And out through your mouth as you breathe out. We'll do this maybe about 10 or 15 seconds. And when you're ready, feel free to rest your arms here. Resting your arms. And then at this point, you can decide whether you'd like to breathe in through your nose or through your mouth. You know, on purpose. You can decide on purpose whether to breathe in through your nose or in through your mouth. Just as we're resting. See how it feels. See how if you notice any shifts or changes. Maybe in your head. Like I can notice changes in my own forehead, like how it feels up there when I breathe in through my nose versus my mouth. And see what it is for you. Okay, and then let's shift to, we can try doing some downward facing dog. So this is a pretty common yoga form. And we could start out standing up. And I'm going to show you a couple of ways of doing this. This one. So first is using a chair. If you want, you can try using a chair for this. And for using a chair, just kind of facing your chair and then lowering your hands to the seat of the chair. So my hands are kind of flat and I'm just walking my feet back and lifting my tailbone up. So my head's coming down as my tailbone. You know, you might not notice much difference here, but you can try like coming onto, like bringing your shoulders over your wrists and then shifting back. So your shoulders are now over the floor. And if you need to bend your knees here, you could do it like that. Right, so you can have your knees bent or straight, or just check out the range of motion that's available to you in this form, in this yoga form. You can check out the range of motion here. And again, you could also shift forward a little bit so that your shoulders are right over your wrists and then shift back. Kind of getting the sense of how this feels for the muscles in your back. So feel free to explore this maybe another 15 seconds or so. Maybe another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then to come out of this yoga form, maybe, you know, you could bring your shoulders back over your wrists and if you'd like, walk your feet forward a little bit. And then from here, kind of rounding our back, bending our knees, and rolling up to standing. You know, taking all the time that you need to roll back up to standing. Right, so you can curl in, curl your chin in, kind of lower your hands towards your feet, and then curl out to come out of that yoga form. All right? So that's one way to do this. Another way to try downward dog is by not using the chair. If you want to do that again on the chair, you can, but here's another way to do it. Just we start out on our hands and knees. So starting out on our hands and knees, and I'm curling my toes under my feet and then extending, drawing my heels towards the mat. I'm just kind of this motion here. So starting out on my knees, and then lifting my knees up so my head comes down between my arms, and my tailbone is lifted up towards the ceiling. All right, maybe staying here for about 10 seconds if you'd like. You might notice some shifts in sensation in your center or your core. You might notice some shifts there in your body. Another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then feel free to lower back down. Feel free to lower back down. Rest for a few moments. As you come back to seated posture, maybe just take a few moments to notice any changes in your body. All right, just take a few moments and notice any shifts or changes in your body. You can stay here for as long as you want. And this next one, I like to give you another opportunity to try this what's called downward dog. You can use a chair again, or you could use the floor. Either way, you can. So this is an opportunity to make a choice. All right, and when you're ready, just kind of making your way onto your hands and knees, or using the chair, and then lifting your knees up, drawing your tailbone up and your head down. And feel free to bend your knees if you need to. You can also shift forward so that your shoulders are kind of coming over your wrists. All right, you can do this motion here, drawing your shoulders over your wrists and then coming back. You might notice some sensation in your core as you bring your shoulders over your wrists. You might notice some changes in your core muscles. So just stay here maybe another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you're welcome to bring your knees back down, maybe come to a seated form for a few moments. And take a moment to notice how your wrists feel. And maybe we can make some circles with our wrists, just circling our wrists around here for a few moments. Circling our wrists around. In either direction. Kind of stretching out the muscles in our wrists and our hands. Okay, we could, if you like, interlace our hands and kind of turn our palms forward, just kind of pressing our elbows together, or just straightening our elbows as we push our hands forward. Another way to stretch our wrists. And then turning our hands, our palms towards our sternum, and then pressing our hands forward that way. Maybe straightening your elbows. Just kind of going back and forth here. And then feel free to release your hands onto your knees. And perhaps this next one, we could try doing some more movement with our breathing. So this is a different movement with our arms. In this one, whether you could sit in a chair or on the floor, and just reaching your arms up overhead as you breathe in, lowering your arms through the center of your body as you breathe out. And again, I invite you to be conscious or to be aware of whether you breathe in through your nose or whether you breathe in through your mouth on this. And maybe for another 5 seconds, if you'd like to try this, another 5 seconds. Noticing any sensation in your body or any shifts or changes in how you feel. And then feel free to rest your arms, rest your hands. Let's take a moment here to breathe, a few seconds. At this point, you could either sit up or lay down. So if you'd like to lay down, we'll move into the final resting phase of our class. So feel free to either sit up for this or to lie down for this. And whichever one you choose is fine. If you choose to do this at all, then you may wish to close your eyes. You could have your eyes closed for this if you'd like. And maybe softening the muscles around your face. Softening the muscles around your neck and shoulders. Softening the muscles around your arms, your wrists. Softening the muscles at your core. And disengaging the muscles around your legs, around your knees, and the muscles around your feet. Maybe checking out the flow of your breathing. We'll just continue to rest for about 10 more seconds. And 10 more seconds in silence. Okay, and when you're ready, maybe opening your eyes if they've been closed and taking a moment to just look around the space that you're in, noticing the walls and the floors, the ceiling, any objects that are in your room. Okay, so thanks for joining me today. And we'll see you next time.